The AI offside crisis. Imagine a brand new technology that's supposed to perfectly solve one of the biggest, most frustrating controversies in all of sports. But instead, it ends up making fans more furious than they've ever been. Let's dive right into this explainer and see exactly how a system meant to bring perfect objectivity is actually creating a massive crisis of trust. So why exactly is automated tech making sports fans angrier? First off, a huge warm welcome to all of you joining us here on the Integratekh channel. If you're new around here, what we do is take complex new findings from the tech world and break them down into simple, clear, and engaging explainers. Today, we are looking at some incredibly fascinating and honestly highly critical research about the hidden flaws in the new artificial intelligence plan for the 2026 World Cup. It is literally the perfect case study of what happens when we just blindly trust algorithms with high-stakes decisions. To really get why this new tech was introduced in the first place, we have to rewind a bit and look at the challenge that existed before this research. The pre-AI era was all about delays and subjectivity. For years, human referees and early video replays just absolutely struggled to catch fast-paced offsides. And an offside decision is tough. It requires knowing two things at the exact same split second: the precise moment the ball is kicked and the exact position of the attackers and defenders. Trying to do this manually led to massive game delays, completely avoidable player injuries because the play needlessly continued, and some highly controversial, super subjective line drawing by referees squinting at fuzzy video screens. It was a huge problem, and it was practically screaming for a high-tech fix. So what did the researchers and FIFA actually do to address this? Well, FIFA's solution is Semi-Automated Offside Tech, or SAOT for short. And this is an incredibly complex web of hardware and software. We're talking 12 to 16 dedicated tracking cameras mounted all around the stadium. These cameras are capturing footage at 50 frames per second, and while they record, an AI algorithm tracks 29 different skeletal data points on every single player. It's mapping out their heads, toes, shoulders, the whole shebang in real time. They even put a connected sensor inside the match ball itself just to detect the exact microsecond it gets kicked. Honestly, it sounds completely foolproof, right? Well, actually, not quite. Because if we look closely at the data pipeline, it reveals something pretty surprising. The supposedly automated system isn't fully automated at all. It actually relies heavily on hidden human intervention. Right in the middle of all this super high-tech skeletal tracking, there are three hidden manual steps. A human operator has to manually select the frame where the ball is kicked. A human has to confirm that the system identified the correct last defender. And a human has to give the final validation before that slick 3D animation is broadcast out to the world. And this brings us to a vital concept in modern technology: explainable AI, or XAI. By definition, explainable AI is artificial intelligence where human users can actually understand, track, and audit exactly how the system arrives at its decisions. The research paper highlights that current semi-automated offside technology operates as a total black box. The source code is locked away, it's proprietary corporate property. Clubs, fans, independent engineers, nobody can see the raw tracking data or the camera calibration logs. And when a computer is making a decision that could decide a multi-million-dollar championship, being told to just trust the machine simply isn't good enough anymore. But the hidden human element isn't even the only issue. There's also a fundamental physical limitation to the technology itself. We call it the 20-millisecond blind spot. Remember those cameras capturing 50 frames per second? That means there is a gap of 20 milliseconds between every single picture the camera takes. Think of it exactly like trying to take a perfectly crisp photo of a speeding race car. A professional football player sprinting across the field is moving at about 8 meters per second. During that tiny 20-millisecond blind spot between camera frames, that player actually moves about 16 centimeters. And all of this math leads us to a pretty shocking number: 34 centimeters. That's what the researchers discovered when they calculated the total measurement uncertainty of the whole system. When you combine that 16 centimeters of potential movement between the camera frames, plus the spatial blur of the camera resolution, plus the calibration errors of the lenses, it adds up to an unavoidable mathematical error margin of 34 centimeters. Yet, the AI presents its offside lines as absolute, millimeter-perfect scientific fact. The system's claims of precision are quite literally exceeding its physical capabilities. So what's the real-world result when you combine physical error margins with hidden human interventions? You get highly suspicious statistical anomalies. Just look at the La Liga 2024-25 VAR net balance. Real-world data from the Spanish season shows a massive 14-point competitive swing between two major rival clubs. Barcelona experienced a net balance of +9 favorable VAR decisions, while Real Madrid suffered a net balance of -7 adverse decisions. Now, to be absolutely perfectly clear here, we are not taking sides or claiming any sort of conspiracy. We are simply looking at the raw data presented in the study. But it perfectly illustrates why a lack of transparency sparks absolute outrage among fans. When you can't verify the AI's math, every unbalanced statistic is going to look like bias. And the system definitely does make mistakes. Let's walk through some of these documented technical failures in La Liga from the research paper. In a match between Celta and Alaves, the AI committed a geometric error. It literally selected the wrong defender to draw the line from, which disallowed a perfectly legal goal. During a Rayo versus Barcelona game, a basic infrastructure failure, a power outage, disabled the entire VAR system during a crucial penalty review. And in a match with Real Sociedad, the advanced skeletal tracking suffered an algorithmic error. It actually confused an attacker's body part with a defender's boot. These aren't just minor little glitches. They are fundamental algorithmic failures that are determining the outcome of games. All of this snowballs into a massive transparency crisis. In Spain, there's already a deep historical context of distrust because of past officiating scandals. So when the VAR audio recordings, those secret conversations between the referees and the human operators, were suddenly leaked to the public, how do the institutions respond? Instead of realizing the public's desperate need for transparency and opening up their processes, the Federation actually dispatched the police to investigate the leak. They basically prioritized corporate secrecy and institutional control over algorithmic accountability. So, what's the big takeaway here? When we compare black box tech versus transparent governance, the crucial point is this. Whether it's in competitive sports, the financial industry, healthcare, or just daily life, algorithms that make high-stakes decisions absolutely must be open source and auditable. The study suggests that we need real-time audit logs, public camera calibration data, and systems that are fully deterministic, meaning the exact same input always gives the exact same output. Because without transparency, a machine cannot prove its fairness. And without proof, the technology loses absolutely all public trust. As artificial intelligence continues to integrate into quite literally every single part of our lives, the demand for explainable AI is only going to grow louder. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Would you trust a machine with the final say if you weren't allowed to see how it thinks? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. If you found this breakdown valuable, please hit that subscribe button for the Integratekh channel, leave a like, share your thoughts on AI transparency down in the comments, and stay tuned for more exciting discoveries from the tech world. See you next time.